Someone posted this coffee shop on Reddit. They said it's the best cafe they've ever been to, and they talked about the dripper wall. It's beautiful over there.
Yes. Thank you for your contributions, Mom.
And the rest of Bay Area Coffee and everybody else donating their somewhat unused but very beautiful drippers.
Yeah, very beautiful drippers.
Very beautiful drippers. So yeah, we're just cleaning up.
Yeah, just about cleaned up for today. I didn't get to brew the last batch on the ground control. But, oh, yeah. Look what we found.
Oh, supplies.
One more box. The Pepe collab.
Who would have thought?
There are somehow always more bags of this coffee.
You just never know when you're going to find them, in the ground control, in the oven,
Little Pepe pop up.
Like rare Pepe right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so what are we doing?
All right. So we are giving away this last box of Pepe Hihan of our collab with Brian, the 50-hour 50th birthday anaerobic wash Sydra. This is literally the last one. It's sold out on our website. We have no more grains of it left. So this is your last opportunity to get it, but we are giving it away. And
we're including some other goodies as well in the giveaway.
Swag. Might have seen this tote bag on some of the other videos here, but also limited edition pin. Not yet on the website.
A pin, okay, very cool.
Nice metal pin. And it also comes with, I don't know if people have gotten their boxes yet, but if you guys open it, there's a little bit of an Easter egg sticker as well in the coffee. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so how do people enter in this?
All right, so to enter, number one, you got to follow us on Instagram. So at Moonwake Coffee Roasters. And you also have to follow our coffee innovation director, Harry, at kumoy.coffee as well. He'll be really chuffed to share more of his coffee knowledge as well with you all. Enter by, I believe, January 2nd. We'll be able to get folks entered in. USA only for shipping, purposes. But we'll include this tote pack with the Pepe, with the pin and the sticker.
Yeah, and then now we will show you how to brew this coffee real quick. So there we go. Cool. Last of end of the year collab. He found another one somehow. Yeah. I don't know. You keep finding coffees.
They're always just hiding.
Hiding spots. Yeah.
Now we're gonna brew this coffee, and as you see, we have a million choices. There's a Pepe V60 there, but it's signed, so we can't brew with that one. But we can brew with. Maybe that one. What about this one here?
That's like probably what Robert would want to brew.
Yeah, single bean brewer.
All right. I'll pick can do a V60. Pepe likes V60, so we'll go with the V60. Unfortunately, not the Pepe V60 that's up there, but a V60. All right.
That one's gonna stay on the top shelf.
Yeah. Okay, so let's brew this coffee now. There is actually a recipe on the Moonwake website for V60, and that is for this size V60, so we'll actually brew with this. You can scale down and up. I know a lot of you guys are brewing lower dosages, but we have actually a sample of this versus this. If you guys got this coffee in, I would say wait about 3 to 4 weeks before you begin brewing. It's going to really open up. You're going to get a lot of this really, really nice lime zest, but we have a sample that's been rested for a bit of time. But I'm going to just basically do this 20 gram V60 recipe because we have an O2 V60 here. So I'd say just weigh out 20 grams, and Ming's been roasting pretty light. As you have seen in the video of how he roasts coffee, he roasts pretty light. So I would say crank the temperature up to, I think 90, anything above 95, like 98 Celsius is pretty good. I've been really enjoying a lot of these coffees. Moonwake's roasting at around 90, 95, 98 Celsius world, but we have 20 grams of this coffee. And then we have a V60 here. And then you can use any sort of, I would recommend one of the faster flowing paper filters. So this is a Cafec, I think, Abaca filter, but you can use, I think they're called TH3 T90. I don't know the numbers anymore. But let's get this ground. Grind setting on this. So the nice thing with Ming's roasting and a lot of these Pepe coffees, especially if they're on the cleaner end, is you can push them quite hard. It's hard to say what grind size to use, but I would say grind finer, medium fine.
Yeah.
We don't know anymore. You guys can figure it out.
You guys are talented.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys are talented enough to figure this out. I hope. All right. So here. It's kind of hard to see probably, but it smells nice.
I can smell from here.
Yeah. So the nice thing with this coffee is, I think if you brew it on the fresher side, at least what we observed when we were, so Ming's behind the camera, by the way, when we cupped this earlier, like a few days ago on the Loring production roast, it was super floral forward, very like floral, clean, sweet. And there was a little bit of that lime zest acidity kind of hiding under everything. As you rest this coffee, I think that's really where that lime zest is going to appear. Like you're going to get a lot of those yellow florals, but that acidity is going to really start to pop and become very structured. So that's the thing is, if you do open it up early, it is still going to taste pretty good, but let it rest and it's going to taste amazing. And then you'll find that sweet spot probably around that 3.5 to 4 weeks where you're going to get this really interesting balance of that acidity and the florality and the sweetness and the cleanliness. And that's pretty representative of a lot of the Nova series Moonwake roasting styles of coffee.
At the cafe, we usually start brewing these around 4 weeks. That's definitely a good sweet spot.
So I got my 20 grams. I'm getting my 20 grams out. This is the EK moment.
That last bean.
Yeah, the last bean. Got my 20 grams in there. You can see it's like pretty fine, but I would say this really depends on what grinder you're using and so on and so forth. We're just going to do standard recipe that you can see, at least the one that I like. Although, feel free to brew this coffee however way you want. But I like to wet WDT, at least after bloom. And I find that you can push this coffee in so many different directions. So, feel free to do mellow drip, feel free to do crazy kettle agitation, which is what we're going to do right now. So I'm just going to dump 60 in here, and then I'm going to get in here and I'm going to agitate it. I have a little bigger wet WDT, so I'm really kind of pushing it around. We'll let that sit here for about a minute. Wow, it smells great. It does have that really nice Sydra kick in it. I really like Sydra. I know a lot of people always ask, well, how come with the collabs, you do the collabs with Pepe, how come you don't do Typica Mejorado? Well, I like Sydra a little more. I think Sydra is more interesting. Typica Mejorado is good also, but Sydra's got that oomph to it. And there will be some videos that eventually we'll upload about that, tasting cherries at the farm and all that in the future. So after 1 minute here, I'm just going to dump a ton of water to 170 and then another pour to 340. So that is a 1:17 ratio. And we're pouring very quickly, of course. And I like to pour close to the bed, like that. 170. And then this is going to drain down at around 130 to 145. That's when I just do another big pour and then swirl and tap. You guys have seen this recipe in many different places. So it's very straightforward of a recipe. And I find, again, with this roasting style and with this coffee, you can push it in so many different directions and it's gonna taste great. So, go. And then here, 135. Just going to pour all the way up to 340. Then we'll give this a nice swirl and a tap. So there you go. That is the recipe you guys have seen in so many different areas. You can brew most of your, I would say, cleaner coffees this way, where you want to push acidity forward and get a nice linger or structure of acidity that will stay there. After this finishes draining down, I would say that it's going to finish around like 3-ish minutes, 3 to you can actually push the coffee pretty hard and get into like that 4-minute area. Even with faster extracting birds, we have SSP cast in here, and it'll still taste great. But we'll give this a little bit of a taste after, and we can tell you a little bit more about what we think this coffee tastes like, even though we've talked about what this coffee tastes like a lot already.
What would you say is different about your pour-over recipe compared to most standard ones?
I say that a lot of standard pour-over recipes are more focused on lower agitation or pouring like right where the bed and water will break. So that's, it's good, and I think just generally, like, without diving too deep into it, and there's a lot of science in pour-over that is incredibly complex, but if you brew different recipes with different levels of agitation, generally speaking, a lot of the lower agitation stuff is like balanced and sweet. You do weird heavy agitation stuff like this with big turbulence and all of that. You get a lot of acidity shifting to the front. And I think, like in this coffee shop, they brew with the lower agitation, balanced and sweet. And I think that is actually the most approachable flavor profile to most people. I think most people want like coffee to not taste like battery acid. But if you push the coffees hard, our brew time finished around 3.5 minutes here. We do all this crazy agitation. We push the coffee, swirl it all around. You shoot all the fines to the side there. You get a relatively clean cup too, by having the fines spend less time touching the coffee. I don't know. Whenever I talk about fines and science in coffee, it gets really deep, but I would say that's kind of the fun with a coffee like this, is that you actually can brew this coffee in so many different styles. It's not like, this is not a coffee that requires you to do a lot of work with it. It's not like, I know you guys like ultra light coffee. I know there's people who like ultra light coffee, emphasize on that you really, really like coffee, where you have to do a lot of work to get it to taste good. This is a coffee that, one, from the processing, there is this really nice expressiveness, and that's because of the 50 hours of fermentation, but it's clean, it's done really well. So you don't need to do a lot of work to like get that flavor note. Really, that's this lime zest flavor note and the florals that are gonna come out. And then second of all, from a brewing perspective, you can stretch the coffee in many different directions. And, this is just a recipe. Well, really what I'm just trying to say is like, this is a roasting style that allows you to push the coffee in various directions, right? It's not like a recipe where, it's not a roasting style where it's like, oh, you're locked into only brewing in one specific way for it to taste good. This one, the roasting style that Ming did here, lets you push the coffee in various directions that you can get, more florality with, I would say, a balanced lower agitation recipe versus like this lime zest acidity that's going to come out with the heavy agitation. So anyway, now, unless you wanted to say more.
No, I was going to say, I think, if you're brewing this and you are wanting to push the balance a little bit more in the lime zest, direction, this might be a good recipe to try out.
Yeah. So that's a lot of that. I find that to really come out with the bloom and like that initial bloom with agitation. Yeah. Anyway, now let's go ahead and taste this.
Yeah, looks like you got one cup there, but we'll probably need a couple more.
Okay, we'll get some cups. Okay, now let's taste the coffee. Hello.
Hello.
So here's the coffee.
If you want to stir it too.
Oh yeah. We can stir it. So yeah, with pour over, you can stir and you get all the flavors together, hopefully. Okay, here we go. Have some of this. Pour you some. There's also coffee, I would say, really let it cool. When it's warmer, I get a lot more of that florality that comes out.
Yeah, really floral.
Yes. Floral.
Sweet type of floral, definitely the yellow.
It's almost like nectar kind of florals.
Yeah. But a lot of citrus too.
Yeah, that citrus, liminess.
That bite, that nice crisp.
Crisp.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing with this type of recipe is you get that crispiness of acidity, but it's got this really nice cleanliness. So the acidity is there long enough where you're okay, this is that lime zest acidity, and then the rest of the cup is that yellow floral. It's sweet, clean.
There's definitely a sweet citrus in there. I think we put down pomelo. You can definitely get that in there. Just an awesome blend of yellow and green, beautiful, clean citrus and like really bright acidity.
It's almost like a key lime type of where you can get that first bite of like acidity, but then it sweetens out at the end.
Yeah, so that's the nice thing with this type of recipe is like you get enough of that acidity that exists there, and then it shifts into like the rest of the cup, which is that florality, that cleanliness. Really like that, really nice linger of sweetness on my tongue. Yeah, it's good. This is a great coffee.
Yeah, I could definitely drink this every day.
Yeah, but also it's expressive, right? Like you can taste that there is fermentation in here, and it's a well done fermentation where it's taking some of the Sydra. So sometimes like Sydra, like you get like, yes, there's like limey notes in Sydra and all of that, but you know, maybe they're not, with some Pepe's coffees, like he doesn't necessarily focus too much on like intensity. Like, and you know, you kind of need to think about what's happening. But here it's like there's that fermentation. It's not like super loud, but you can tell those fruit notes are boosted. They're more weighty. Really, maybe not even weighty here. They're more like crisp. It's like there's that nice structure here. So that's what's cool with the anaerobic fermentation for Sydra. It's washed.
Like you know, the less fermented coffees, you know, all these complexities are kind of on an equal playing field, and it's just like that fermentation just like boosts up those couple of citrus notes. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's been fermented, but it's done so well.
This coffee like takes you on different phases, which is really fun. Versus I feel like some other coffees, you get that initial kind of single dimensional experience where it's really expressive, and then it kind of just falls off at the end, or it's just this kind of lack of clarity where everything's kind of muddled together. But this one is like you can kind of pick apart the different phases as it cools down.
Yeah, but if you do brew it in this way, the thing that you will experience the most is still that lime acidity, zest acidity, crispiness up front. But yeah, I would say that this is a coffee and roasting style that you can 100% push in various directions. You know, if you want more florality, I actually think if you really wanted just more florality, you could brew it earlier. That's what I've observed is you just open it up a little earlier. But I know for people who are chasing, you know, more structured acidity, more vibrancy in coffee, you know, let this one really rest. Like you could let this one probably rest, you know, 4 weeks. You could push the coffee hard. And you can brew this coffee in probably, you know, even a very transparent way, and you'll see where that acidity is in here. Really, it's that fermentation that's you're tasting with the Sydra profile that's generally more dynamic from Pepe. Yeah,
Pepe really did a great job. Can't wait to see the 51 hour next year.
Oh my gosh.
52 after.
51 hour, 52 hour. But yeah, you know, just wanted to throw this clip in here. If you guys pick up this coffee, you know, let us know how you guys enjoyed it or how you were brewing it. You know, it's all gone now. It was a very small amount, but we found another box. So, you know, wanted to thank you two for being a part of this and pulling this off. You'll get this, whoever wins this, you'll get this, and you'll get the tote bag. And yeah, so good luck to everyone who enters. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. And Happy New Year's.
See you in the new year.
Yeah, Happy New Year's.
As we were filming this video, someone's like, "Nice try, Brian Kwan." That's hilarious. I should be posting about this on Reddit, right? It would be beneficial if you all looked at the work that these people do to bring these coffees into reality.
Try our best.
You try, yeah.
I know.